Hello friends, it's indeed inspiring to see you back again. And today in SQL tutorial series, we are going to discuss subsets of SQL. Now, what exactly does this mean? Let's say you speak English and now you are speaking with your brother. Then you will have a different way of speaking with your brother. If you're speaking with a small kid, while interacting with a small kid, you will speak in a different way. So this is I just want to create a similarity between the way one particular language can be used differently with different people, and in fact in different occasions also we make use of the same language in a different way. If you want to get some information out of somebody, then you will speak in a different way. If you are in a corporate meeting, you will speak in a different way. So we have different ways how we can actually communicate. Similar way, SQL is also having different subsets, different ways how it can deal with the data. So let us start this particular discussion, this particular presentation. And if you have still not liked this video, I would recommend you to like this and share this with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you can keep on getting whatever updates we are giving on YouTube. Let us start with subsets of SQL. This means that we are discussing types of SQL queries. Now, here we have first type as DDL, that is data definition language. The second type is DML, that is data manipulation language. Third type is DQL, that is data query language. Sometimes we call DQL as data retrieval language. And then we have DCL, that is data control language. And further, we have TCL, that is transaction control language. Let us start with first one and go one by one. DDL, data definition language. Here the word definition is very important because what exactly is defining the data's definition or mentioning or writing. So it is all about the schema or the structure. What is a structure? Let's say you want to store information about all the local Kirana stores in your locality. What will you do? You will start planning that how should I do this? You may write a serial number column, and then you may organize name of that particular Kirana store, then name of the owner, phone number of the owner, and the location. So probably you would have these few columns. This is actually called as schema or the structure. These columns are nothing but they are schema defined. So data definition language actually identifies that what are the columns and what are the data types of these columns. So that is something DDL, data definition language, does. Now let us move ahead and understand that what commands would come under DDL. So create is one command, drop, alter, truncate, comment, and rename. These are the few examples of DDL commands. Don't worry, we will be seeing them practically one by one in detail. So these are the DDL commands which we have. Then further moving, we have the next type as DML. This DML is data manipulation language. Manipulation word itself tells that we are going to directly deal with the data now, and which means that let's say I have entered a name as Rohit in the database, but that name was actually Mohit. So I should be able to make this particular change. The name should be reset or changed to Mohit. That is basically the task of DML. It consists of commands that deals with manipulation of data. That is the task of DML. Let me show you some of the commands which DML comprises of. Insert command, update command, and delete command. So these are examples of data manipulation language commands. The next part is DQL, which is data query language. Query means retrieving the data, getting some information. So once you have the structure ready, and once you have inserted the rows inside the tables of the database, then you would really like to fetch them back. Let's say you have been doing business for a couple of weeks. Now, after doing business for a couple of weeks, you would really like to understand what is going on in the business. If you keep on storing daily business information into a database, you will be able to use data query language to get all the information from the database software itself. So the purpose of this command is to get some schema relation based on query passed on it to it. So that means that schema relation means structure and a table. So some tables data it fetches based upon the query passed. Okay, this is for retrieval. And the select command is basically used. Select is used for viewing anything in a particular database. Now let us move towards the next one, which is called as DCL. It is data control language. Control. If you have a database table, let's say it's a table for employees, but this employees table has got a lot of such information which should not be publicly shared, or which should never be shared with everyone in the company also. And now there's a new HR, a junior HR. And now we are thinking not to give this piece of information as of now to the junior HR. So what we can do, we can make use of DCL, data control language. We can basically reserve that particular resource. And what we can do is we can actually give only that much permission which is required by that particular position or a person. So DCL controls the data. Let's say it will just show the employee first name and last name and email ID and nothing else about the employees to the next user. So that is basically DCL, that you can give a limited access to a particular user. Now let us move ahead and try to understand what sort of commands are being used. So grant and revoke are the commands which are used in DCL, that is data control language. You grant some permissions and you revoke, you take back some permissions. Now there is next command which is TCL. TCL is transaction control language. So here basically one transaction means, let's say I send you 100 units of currency, and this 100 units of currency, if I will send it to you, then what is going to happen? A transaction going to take place. Now in this particular transaction, what will happen? This transaction can be controlled. Let's say this was by mistake. So I may not be able to roll back with the help of the application, but the bank will be able to make the necessary changes and you will be able to roll back this particular transaction. So in fact, if you go and put up your attendance, and let's say with you some wrong attendance have been marked for your colleague, now the database guy has got this privilege. He can roll back this particular transaction and mark him absent again. So this is basically transaction control language. And here we have certain commands which are commit, rollback, save point, and set transactions. Again, I'm saying, don't worry, we will be seeing each of these commands practically with the help of multiple examples. So I told you about all the subsets or different types of SQL commands, and now you need to wait for the next video where we will be practically seeing all these commands. I hope this information was useful for you, and do share with your friends. And if you have not yet subscribed the channel, you can do it right away and press the bell icon. Thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial.